127 Hours in the Canyon. The Survival of Aron Ralston. On April 26, 2003, 27-year-old Aron Ralston set out for what he believed would be a routine solo hiking trip in Blue John Canyon, Utah. Aron was an experienced climber and outdoorsman. He had explored remote areas before and trusted his physical strength and survival skills. That morning, he drove alone, parked his truck, and began hiking into the narrow desert slot canyon. He did not tell anyone exactly where he was going. He did not leave a note. He carried minimal supplies, some water, a small amount of food, and a cheap multi-tool knife. The canyon walls were tall and tight, twisting into narrow passages where sunlight barely reached the ground. Around mid-afternoon, while climbing down a narrow section, Aron dislodged a large boulder. The rock, weighing several hundred pounds, fell and pinned his right arm against the canyon wall. In seconds, his trip turned into a life-threatening nightmare. Aron screamed, but no one was nearby. The canyon was isolated, no cell signal, no hikers within hearing distance. His arm was crushed and completely trapped under the stone. He tried everything. He pulled, he twisted, he pushed with his legs against the opposite wall. The boulder would not move. Hours passed. He rationed his water carefully. He attempted to chip away at the rock using his small multi-tool. The steel was too weak to break the stone. Night came. Temperatures dropped sharply in the desert. Alone in darkness, pinned and in pain, Aron began to understand the seriousness of his situation. He had not told anyone where he was. No one would come looking for him immediately. The next morning, he was still trapped. He tried again to free his arm, but the pressure was immense. Blood circulation was cut off, his hand was swelling and slowly dying. Over the next few days, Aron survived by sipping small amounts of water and eating tiny pieces of food. He recorded goodbye messages to his family on his video camera. He spoke calmly, even apologizing for his mistake of hiking alone without informing anyone. By the fourth day, his water supply was almost gone. He began drinking his own urine to survive dehydration. His arm had started to decompose. He realized the horrifying truth. The only way out was to amputate his own arm. The small, dull blade in his multi-tool was not designed for such a task, but Aron had studied enough about survival to understand basic anatomy. On the morning of May 1, 2003, after being trapped for nearly 5 days, approximately 127 hours, he made the decision. First, he used his body weight to snap the bones in his forearm against the rock. The sound and pain were intense, but adrenaline carried him forward. Then he began cutting through muscle and tissue with the dull knife. It took nearly an hour. He used a makeshift tourniquet to slow bleeding. When he finally freed himself, he was weak, dehydrated, and missing his right forearm, but he was alive. Aron still faced a dangerous hike out of the canyon. He rappelled down a 65-foot cliff one-handed. Then he walked several miles through the desert under intense heat. Eventually, he encountered a family of hikers who gave him water and alerted authorities. A rescue helicopter arrived and transported him to a hospital. Doctors confirmed that without the amputation, he would have died within days. Aron survived. He later became a motivational speaker and wrote a memoir titled Between a Rock and a Hard Place. His story was later adapted into the film 127 Hours. What makes this real story powerful is not just the extreme survival, it is the decision. Aron faced isolation, fear, physical agony, and the certainty of death if he did nothing. He chose pain over surrender. He chose action over waiting. His survival was not luck. It was a brutal, conscious choice. Today, Aron Ralston lives with a prosthetic arm and continues climbing. The canyon where he was trapped remains the same, silent, narrow, indifferent. But for 127 hours in 2003, it became the place where one man confronted death and cut himself free from it. This was not fiction, it was not exaggerated legend. It was a real event, documented, recorded, and medically confirmed. And it began with one small decision: to hike alone into a quiet canyon without telling anyone where he was going.